So it's time to have a look at my Game Week 5 transfer plans. As Game Week 4 comes to an end, it was definitely a game week to forget. As you guys can see, we only got 54 points in Game Week 4, which saw me get a red arrow all the way down to 547k. Yeah, it was a terrible week, but I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Game Week 4, as I already did post a video and my initial reaction to Game Week 4. So if you want to see that, I'll leave a link to that video down below in the description. But yeah, long story short, we flopped massively. We got a red arrow. So now let's have a look at my Game Week 5 transfer plans. Alright guys, so as you can see, these are the 3 players that I'm considering to transfer in for Game Week 5. As you guys can see, we've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Jamie Vardy and Marcus Rashford. Now before you guys laugh at me, before you guys laugh at these picks, hear me out for a second. If you guys have been following my FPL journey this season so far, you guys will know that I'm most likely going to wildcard in Game Week 6, right? It's like I'm like 90% chance in favor of wildcarding in Game Week 6. So if I was to bring one of these players in, it would essentially be a 1 week punt in Game Week 5, right? And then I'd wildcard them out for Game Week 6. So bear that in mind. That is sort of the thinking behind these transfers. Now I want to talk about Jamie Vardy, because I actually really do like him as an option for a 1 game punt against Everton at home. And first things first, you guys might be wondering, who would I be taking out if I was to go for Jamie Vardy? Well, I would definitely be taking out Rodrigo Menez. Rodrigo Menez he is just on fraud watch, bro. Rodrigo Menez is terrible. Absolutely terrible. He's been stealing a living in my FPL team. He's not been getting goals. He's not been getting assists. This guy is just on extreme fraud watch, right? So Rodrigo Menez has to go. I'm gonna be honest. Rodrigo Menez has 2 options in my team. He either sits on the bench or I transfer him out. It's as simple as that. So if I take out Rodrigo Menez, I either want to put in Jamie Vardy or Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now, I feel like I'm slightly leaning towards Jamie Vardy, because I'll tell you why, right? Everton at home is a great fixture for Leicester, in my opinion. Everton are actually one of the worst defensive teams in the Premier League this season. On the eye test, they've been shocking. I've watched all their Premier League games this season, you know, against Brighton, the last game against Aston Villa, against Bournemouth. They've just been so poor. But not only on the eye test are they giving up loads of chances, even the data backs that up. When you look at expected goals conceded, guys, as you can see, they aren't doing good at all. As you guys can see, they're actually the 2nd worst defensive team in the league in terms of expected goals conceded. So Everton, they're not good defensively, and as a 1 game short-term punt, I really don't mind bringing in Jamie Vardy, guys. I really don't mind it. I think it could work out really good. He's already got 2 goals so far this season, Jamie Vardy. Of course, he scored in the last game against Crystal Palace away from home, and he also scored in the first game against Tottenham at home. So 2 goals in 4 games isn't too bad at all for Jamie Vardy. And like I said, as a 1 game punt against Everton, I'm not against it. I'm really not. It's a fun pick. It's a differential pick. And look, FPL, of course, I want to win. I want to do well, but I also want to have a bit of fun. And I feel like that Jamie Vardy pick is definitely a fun pick for a 1 game short-term punt. So yeah, I also have and sort of do want to put in Calvert-Lewin as well. And it's funny because Leicester are playing against Everton. I think both defenses are bad. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has also had a pretty strong start to the season. He's got 2 goals, 1 assist so far. And to be honest with you, he should have walked away with a hat-trick in the last game against Aston Villa. I don't know what he was doing for that 1-on-1 when he tried to take it around the keeper, but he should have just shot. He should have just shot and put the ball in the back of the net. He was being silly. I have no idea what he was doing, but yeah, he should have scored that chance, and he also hit the crossbar from a 1-on-1 as well. So yes, he did score in that game against Aston Villa, but like I said, he really should have had a hat-trick. He had the opportunities, he had the chances, and like I said, I watched that game. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin, I don't know how he didn't walk away from that game with a hat-trick. But yeah, he's also got 1 assist as well, of course. And look, Calvert-Lewin has that threat from set pieces, and Everton may be crap defensively, but they do seem to be creating a bit of chances. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you know, he's a Premier League proven striker. So again, as a short-term punt away to Leicester, I don't mind it. So I am like really strongly considering it. It wasn't really sort of something I thought about until really today, until after Game Week 4. After Rodrigo Menez got benched, that's when I thought about replacing him. So yeah, it's definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on. It's definitely something in the back of my mind to use my free transfer for a 1 game punt for Vardy or Calvert-Lewin. Now, another player I am considering, which probably won't happen, but I'm going to tell you guys that he's here because there is a small chance, right? There's a high chance I put in Vardy or Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but there is like a relatively small chance I put in Marcus Rashford, right? Now, you guys already already know, I've got Amad Diallo. So that would mean I would be having Rashford and Amad Diallo as a double up against Crystal Palace away from home in game week 5. Now, look, if I was to bring in Marcus Rashford, it would be most likely for either Diogo Jota or Anthony Gordon, and most likely Anthony Gordon if I'm honest. So yeah, that would be who I would be replacing Rashford for. And look, Rashford, he scored his first goal against Southampton, but the main reason I would want Rashford is purely because, again, I don't really rate Crystal Palace defense. Honestly, I've watched Crystal Palace and their defense actually isn't good at all. They give up a lot of chances, and again, guys, when you look at the data, once again, you guys will be able to see here, in terms of expected goals conceded, they're doing pretty poor, Crystal Palace, right? They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're the 7th worst team in the league for expected goals conceded, which isn't good at all, right? So that's why I am genuinely considering putting in Marcus Rashford for a 1-game week punt. Another point I wanted to make about Manchester United is that we've actually been relatively good at creating chances so far this season. As you guys can see by this graphic on screen, in terms of big chances created so far this season, Manchester United have created 14 big chances, which does actually give us a Premier League ranking of 3rd, which isn't too bad at all. Even on the eye test, I've seen in multiple games Manchester United create chances for the likes of Xerxes, for the likes of Garnacho, Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes. Like, the Man United attackers are definitely getting chances, lots and lots of chances to score goals. So that's why I don't mind putting in a player like Marcus Rashford. I mean, I definitely would consider someone like Garnacho if I knew he was going to start. So yeah, I think the Man United attack, shouldn't be ignored, given on the eye test, we're actually creating a lot of chances, and also the stats sort of back that up as well. As you guys can see, in terms of expected goals, Man United rank 3rd for that, which again isn't too bad at all. So yeah, I really am considering Marcus Rashford, but like I said, I'm probably favoring Jamie Vardy the most if I'm being honest. But anyway, guys, that's sort of like my overall thoughts on sort of players that I might target as a 1-week punt for game week 5. But now I want to show you guys my game week 6 wildcard draft. Alright guys, so first things first, before I do show you my game week 6 wildcard draft, I want to show you why I want to wildcard in the first place, because I do think if I don't wildcard in game week 6, you guys will see my team will face a lot of issues. So first things first, this is how the team would look for game week 5. For example, I probably wouldn't make, if I wasn't going to wildcard, I don't think I would make a transfer. I think I would literally just roll the transfer and bench Rodrigo Muniz and start Amad Diallo, purely because I need to save a transfer so I can buy 2 Arsenal players for game week 6. So as you guys can see, if I roll the transfer for game week 6, I'd have 2 free transfers, and then of course I would need Bukayo Saka and Kai Havertz, right? I've already got Raya, but I would need Bukayo Saka, I would need Kai Havertz, so I would take out Salah and Rodrigo Muniz for Saka and Kai Havertz, right? So that's not too bad. Although I'm not wildcarding, I still get, the free Arsenal assets, which isn't too bad. But then I've still got Gordon. I can't get to Mbeumo. I've still got Mikalenko. I've still got Barco. I've still got Jota, who could get benched or keeps getting subbed off early. I've got Pedro Porro away to Man United. So I feel like this team, and even Rodgers, I've still got Rodgers who isn't delivering right now. So the problem is, although I can get to sort of the Arsenal assets, I still miss out on a lot of other players. I mean, players like Cole Palmer, for example, in game week 6 and 7, if I bring up Cole Palmer's fixtures, Cole Palmer's got Brighton at home, Forest at home, and I know Chelsea aren't the greatest of teams, but they're 2 good fixtures for Cole Palmer. So I feel like if I don't wildcard, I miss out on a lot. So yeah, although I can get the Arsenal players, I'm still missing out on players like Mbeumo, Brentford defenders, Palmer. So much I'm missing out on. Wissa as well if he's fit. So yeah, that's sort of the idea of why I want to wildcard. But yeah, let's have a look at my game week 6 wildcard team. So guys, this is my initial game week 6 wildcard draft. This is my first wildcard draft. Will I stick with this? I'm not too sure, but I really do like the look of it at the moment, and this is what I am leaning towards. It's still got Raya in goal. We've brought in Rico Lewis. We've got Collins and Murillo. Midfield 4 is very explosive in my opinion. Cole Palmer, Brian Mbeumo, Semenyo and Saka, and a front 3 of Wissa, Haaland and Havertz. On the bench is still quite strong with Amad Diallo, Robinson and Aït-Nouri. Guys, this isn't finalized at all by any means, but it's definitely a rough idea of what I want to do. Of course, Wissa might be injured. We don't know. At the time of recording, I don't know if he's going to be out for a long time, but this is just assuming Wissa will be fit for game week 6. Yeah, this is what I want to do, and you know, I do like it a lot. As you guys can see, we spent sort of a lot of money in the attack. You know, we've invested in 3 premium options in Haaland, Saka and Palmer. But the reason why I like it, and I like Palmer, for example, Palmer would be like a short-term pick for 2 games for the Brighton and Forest games, and then after that I downgrade him to Phil Foden. So that's sort of the idea with Cole Palmer. I think, you know, I've gone for triple Brentford because they've got an amazing fixture run from game week 6 onwards, right? If you're wildcarding, for me, triple Brentford is non-negotiable. If Wissart is fit, he's got to be in there. From Buemo's fit, of course, he's got to be in there, and I do want a Brentford defender as well. Yeah, and then Semenyo, again, a short-term 2-game punt for the against Southampton and Leicester. So that's why I've gone for him. Overall, I do like the team. Of course, I've got to have 3 Arsenal players as well, right? I've already got Raya, but I have to bring in Saka, and I've got to bring in Kai Havertz, in my opinion. Yes, I could go for double Arsenal defense, but I prefer that, you know, the more explosive, the more higher upside pick with the attacker in Kai Havertz and Bukayo Saka. So that's sort of my thinking behind the wildcard. Look, I like it. I've got sort of this team. I feel like it allows me to save transfers quite a bit because I can just rotate the 4.5 defenders. I can bring Ahmad in and out of the team when needed. So I do like it a lot. Of course, I'm missing players like Trent. I'm missing Pedro Porro. These are sort of defenders that I would want in my team. Trent and Pedro Porro are the only really 2 defenders that I'm like, I wish I had in this team. Of course, Trent is so expensive, and given the fact that Liverpool, their fixture swing is just like, their fixtures are they're decent, but for me, just without the attacking returns, I'm not sure Trent is worth the 7 mil. He's not being yes, he's played well, right? He's definitely played well. He's been so unlucky not to get those attacking returns. However, I do prefer investing the money in the midfield and the attack given the fixtures, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I that's why I've gone without Trent. Pedro Porro, on the other hand, I do kind of want to try and fit him in, and I might find a way to do that. However, I will say, I can actually get Pedro Porro in once I've downgraded Palmer to Foden. So that's definitely something to think about. I may not be able to get Porro in initially, but after a couple game weeks when I've downgraded Palmer to Foden, it then frees up enough money for me to upgrade one of the 4.5 defenders to Pedro Porro. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys as well, just like for the next 2 game weeks, how the team could look and why I've gone for this team. So in game week 7, this is how the wildcard team would look. Lewis, Collins, Raya, Murillo against Chelsea. So I'd probably have to start Aït-Nouri again. Aït-Nouri might not even be in the team. Robinson might not even be in the team. Again, like I said, guys, it's just a rough idea, a rough draft of what I want to do. But that's how the team would look for game week 7. I would definitely roll the transfer. I wouldn't be using any transfers, and everyone has a good fixture here, so I like it a lot. And then we'd have game week 8, 2 free transfers. This is where I would probably bring in Phil Foden. He would come into the side. That would free up 1.6 million. So then I've got the option to bring in Pedro Porro, for example, and Pedro Porro in game week 8 actually has West Ham at home, which is a great fixture. So again, there's an argument to be made. I could take out someone like, I'd probably take out Robinson, if I'm being honest, because Collins has good long-term fixtures. I'd want Aït-Nouri later on down the line, and I like the Forest defense, so I'd probably take out Robinson for like a Pedro Porro, for example, and that's what my 2 free transfers would be used on. But yeah, I'm not going to go on and on for too long, but yeah, that's sort of like a rough idea of what I could do with this wildcard team. Of course, I could then bench Semenyo for Amad Diallo as well. So yeah, I mean, look, guys, I don't really know what my game week 6 wildcard team will be 100%. But this is sort of a rough idea of what I want to do for game week 6. It's my early initial thoughts. So yeah, but guys, that is going to be it for today's transfer plans videos. There is a lot of things to think about. Do I wildcard in game week 6? Do I take a one game week punt on a Jamie Vardy, on a Marcus Rashford, on a Dominic Calvert-Lewin? I don't know. But again, this is just my initial thoughts. I'm sort of just, yeah, talking to you guys, unraveling all my different ideas. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video nonetheless. If you did, make sure you do smash a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And guys, I will catch you in the next video. But until then, I'm out. Peace.